Hello. For those of us who are awake and aware of the globalist agenda, the internationalist elite's plans to bring the world into a technocratic and communistic style control grid, with the super wealthy owning all the land and resources and everyone else having nothing, as set out in documents such as Agenda 21 and the World Economic Forum's Great Reset. We know that the mainstream media is not presenting us with genuine, trustworthy news. However, we can read mainstream media articles and look at what is being said on the TV news and read between the lines, as it were, identify the agendas that the controllers want us to believe. So when they tell us we're in a deadly pandemic, when they tell us that there is a climate emergency, and when they tell us that the world is overpopulated, we know these things are not true, but we also know this is what the globalists want us to believe is the case. They want the public to get on board with these agendas so they can roll out their solutions, their pre-planned solutions that fit the globalist agenda. And I want to present you with a couple of articles here. Here we have from the 30th of January 2021 from the Daily Express. Bill Gates issues stark COVID warning about the next pandemic, maybe 10 times more serious. He stated the world is not prepared for the next pandemic as coronavirus deaths across the globe continue to rise. And we also have, from the 9th of February 2021, from the Daily Mail, a report saying that Britain could be trapped in lockdowns, perpetual lockdown cycles for years. Talked about Professor Sir Ian Boyd, said the UK could be stuck in control and release for a long time. Now, I said in an earlier article that SAGE are not genuine, independent, impartial scientists. The SAGE members have vested interests with Big Pharma. They get funding from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So they are deliberately pushing this agenda because they're going to profit from it. But there you go. The mainstream media is publishing these kind of articles because they are trying to soften the public up for more lockdowns, for more regular lockdowns, to the idea that the government can just announce a lockdown whenever they see fit. And the mainstream media, all corporate controlled, are presenting this kind of news, as they would call it, in order to get the public to accept that as we just have to get along with it. That has to be our reality. Now, here's the thing. I wouldn't be that surprised if in 2021 we have more deaths this year, including some younger and more healthy people. And I wouldn't be surprised if this continues into 2022 and the next few years. A lot more people dying. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did. But that won't be because there's a deadly virus that just happened out of nowhere or out of bats or something like that. It could be more deaths because of the vaccine that's already happening in care homes. More deaths because of the consequences of lockdowns, the stress, the anxiety, the suicides, the mental health, and not to mention the mask wearing, all the illnesses that arise from that, and the social distancing. These things kill people. However, even if there are a lot of people dying, and even if we are seeing a lot of people die mysteriously, we must all collectively reject the solutions that the governments are presenting us with. Because if you're sick, or if anyone is sick, we need to say we're going to look after our own health. we're each going to make our own decisions as to what we do, whether we go out or whether we stay home, and what medicines we take. We don't need the government to be involved, pandemic or no pandemic. It may well be, I'm not saying this will happen, but it's possible that at some point a bioweapon will be released. And then it will be reported as a pandemic, as some contagious virus, when it's not. It's something that's been engineered. And it will be used as a way for the governments of the world to bring about their pre-planned solutions. But we must always seek proof of claim. If the governments of the world are telling you we must do this, that and the other, because otherwise the hospitals are going to be overrun, overstretched, overburdened, and that healthy people are able to pass on a virus to more vulnerable people who will die of it, this idea of asymptomatic transmission, we must go to our representatives and say, prove it! Prove these claims you're making. We must, whatever happens, whether a lot of people die in the near future or not, we must all reject the solutions that government is presenting us with and say, no, we will all take care of our own health. If I'm sick, I will take the right decisions for me. We do not need the government to be muscling in with this. We all need to understand what these kind of articles are doing, how the media are trying to soften up the people, soften up the population for more lockdowns and more tyranny, and say, we're not having that, we'll look after our own health. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching.